Please be seated. Psych, please rise. The commencement ceremony of the Seattle University School of Law is now convened. As we begin our gathering, we respectfully acknowledge that our event today is taking place on the homelands of the Coast Salish peoples, who continue to steward these lands and waters as they have since time immemorial. We recognize the tribal nations and organizations who actively create, shape, and contribute to our thriving community at Seattle University and beyond. We, as an academic community, should be and are committed to doing our part to engage with and amplify the voices of Native peoples and tribes. We acknowledge our role in the collective oppression of Native people and our obligation to work to support them in the healing process and advocate for reparations. Thank you. Please remain standing for the invocation offered by Father Lucas Sharma of the Jesuits, West Province of the Society of Jesus and trustee of Seattle University.
Loving God, you form us in your image with love, which is love, and call us to embody your radical love and tender compassion in our world. We ask for your blessing today as we gather in celebration of Seattle University School of Law commencement. We ask your blessing upon the university and the school so that it may always refract your light in all who enter its doors and may continue to be a place where innovation meets humanity in the spirit of your justice and equity. As the nights grow colder and darker this winter, we are aware of the conflicts that plague our world. May we always use the gift of the law for healing, for wholeness, and for increasing your light and your peace in the world. We ask that you bless our faculty, our staff, and our administration who guide the law school directed by the thirst for justice and the hunger for community. We thank you, faculty, in forming our students. We thank you and ask our blessing upon our students, that they may take the light of the law and the light that is in their very existence into the world, so as to make the world one that is more compassionate, gentler, a world in which every individual can discover the beauty and the light that is in them. May they take their knowledge of the law and embody you who are a servant first and foremost, so that they may serve others, knowing that where the least are, so too are you. Be with us all, family, friends, and graduates, so that we may all see the grandeur that is your beauty in everyone and across all of creation. Help us be beacons of hope and glimmers of light. We ask all these things in your name, as together we say, Amen.
Free Palestine!
Good morning. As the president of Seattle University, but also as a fellow lawyer, let me offer my heartfelt congratulations to our graduating students. Completing law school is no small feat. Well done. I'd also like to congratulate and thank the family, friends, and loved ones who've joined us this morning. Thank you for being here to celebrate with us and for all the ways that you've supported our graduates over the course of their lives. Let's also thank the faculty, staff, and administration of Seattle University Law School who've guided and assisted our graduates through their law school journey. And finally, please join me in expressing special gratitude to Rick Bird, who has been one of the organizers of this and countless other Seattle University law school commencements over many years and over several decades of service. to Seattle University and to the law school, who will be retiring shortly after the new year. Can we just give him a round of applause, please? Thank you, Rick. Graduates, you're entering the legal profession at a time of great instability and uncertainty. Democracies around the world, including our own, find themselves under tremendous stress. And although there are many factors contributing to the present circumstances, rapid technological change is high on any list of explanations. Spend a little bit of time doom scrolling X, formerly known as Twitter, or Instagram or TikTok, and you'll see the fragmentation and polarization of what passes for political discourse these days. And contributing to our political instability are copious amounts of false or misleading content, increasingly produced by generative AI chatbots and image generators, content that can be difficult to distinguish from reality. For the legal profession, generative AI presents a whole host of new questions and challenges. The release of ChatGPT a year ago has even led some observers to predict that it will not be long before computers are able to do the work and replace much of the work currently done by lawyers. And although the new technology is impressive, I'm skeptical that it will be able to replace the complex work of lawyers, which is to say your work, anytime soon. To understand why, let me tell you a story about Steve, a person who may have been just a little bit too enthusiastic about generative AI. Steve was a seasoned lawyer in New York City, and he was working on an important case. His client had been injured while flying on Avianca Airlines, and although Steve was a seasoned lawyer, having practiced as a litigator for over 30 years, he didn't know a lot about aviation law, which is a highly specialized area of law governed by complex international treaties. The brief was due in the case, and Steve was pressed for time, and harried and under the gun, he succumbed to the temptation that has challenged many students over the last 12 months, and he turned to ChatGPT. He prompted it to write him a legal brief in support of his client's case. And amazingly, it did just that. The AI-generated brief cited a number of cases in support of Steve's legal position, cases like Varghese versus China South Airlines, Martinez versus Delta, Shaboon versus Egypt Air, Peterson versus Iran Air, Miller versus United Airlines, and Estate of Durden versus KLM Royal Dutch Airlines. Each of these cases involved passengers suing airlines that had injured them, and each of these cases supported Steve's client's legal position. Just one problem: none of these cases existed. The airline's lawyers, who did know a thing or two about aviation law, were puzzled by Steve's citation to cases that they couldn't locate in the usual authoritative sources. So they asked the court to have Steve produce copies of the mysterious cases, copies of the judicial opinions. And so naturally, Steve asked ChatGPT to find these for him. And it did. It provided him with what appeared to be complete judicial opinions for each of the cases he had cited. Once again, when the airline's lawyers checked the opinions against the authoritative digests of judicial decisions, they couldn't authenticate them. As it turns out, the opinions were fabrications, or what AI experts call hallucinations. Current versions of generative AI, like ChatGPT, are built on large language models that operate by making sophisticated statistical predictions about the probability that one word will follow another. While it's genuinely amazing what these large language models can accomplish, they don't work anything like human minds. They have no actual experience of the world, no grasp of the difference between truth and fiction, no grasp in the sense that we mean that word of anything at all. The answer, "I don't know," does not seem to be in their repertoire, hence their tendency to simply make things up when prompted with a question. Confronted by opposing counsel and ultimately by the court, Steve admitted that he had written his brief and found the aforementioned cases using ChatGPT. He'd never used the tool before, he explained, and he had no idea that it would simply invent cases or fabricate judicial opinions. and he's now facing professional sanctions for his actions and may well lose his license to practice law. The moral of the story? Well, for starters, don't be Steve. But importantly, the moral is not that this new technology is useless or that it will not dramatically change our world or how you or we practice law. I suspect that it will change the world, that it will prove to be extremely useful and have impacts on the legal profession that we can't yet fathom. But in the world of generative AI, knowledge and understanding will still matter, expertise will still matter, the truth will still matter. Indeed, the problems of truth and trust and verification that the rise of social media has already created and that generative AI threatens to make even worse are precisely the sorts of challenges that your legal education has trained you to meet. Your legal education has made you experts in identifying and assessing genuine authoritative sources, weighing sound evidence, evaluating arguments, and ferreting out the truth. Far from being threatened with obsolescence, in the era of generative AI, of deep fakes, malicious but capable bots, these quintessential lawyerly skills are going to matter more than ever. Your time at Seattle University Law School and your own hard work have given you the tools you need to navigate a complex and rapidly changing future. The legal education you've received here will help you confront and overcome these challenges and uncertainties. So once again, congratulations and good luck, and we are counting on you to lead us into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, President Peñalver, for presiding over our commencement ceremony. Congratulations, graduates, and welcome to your commencement, the winter commencement for 2023. Your professors and I are so very proud of you and what you have accomplished during your time here at Seattle University School of Law. Today is a day to celebrate, to be thankful, and to look towards the future. Many of you are here thanks to the abundant support that you received from your parents, significant others, and other loved ones who are here with you in person and over the web stream. Graduados, hoy los celebramos a ustedes, pero con el conocimiento que tienen en sus corazones muchísimo agradecimiento para sus padres y madres y otros familiares que sacrificaron tanto en el logro de sus sueños. So let's give all of your loved ones a rousing round of applause to show them your gratitude. As you depart our esteemed law school and deploy your new JD or MLS or LLM degree, I give you a few words of advice to take with you. We say that we practice law, meaning that we exercise our mastery of law in the performance of our lawyerly duties. The term practice connotes that we lawyers will continue to grow and to learn and to perfect our craft until we retire from the profession. The word practice also serves us today as a helpful mnemonic to organize and remember the advice that I hope to impart to you as part of my dean's message to graduates today. So, practice, P-R-A-C-T-I-C-E. Let's start with the first letter, P, for professionalism. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor insisted, quote, "There must be a rediscovery of civility in the profession," unquote. Many other leaders in law have observed that we have lost too much of the professionalism and civility and collegiality that once defined the legal profession. The COVID disruptions, combined with the coarsening of everyday culture caused by social media, perhaps, have contributed to this downward slide towards incivility. I urge you to distinguish yourselves as lawyers who, in their zealous advocacy on behalf of clients and causes, exercise the professional kindness and collegiality that the profession merits, and that, in any event, make us better and more effective lawyers. Address and relate to judges and other decision makers with respect and regard. Collaborate with opposing counsel and other professional colleagues with civility, especially at times of greatest stress and conflict. If you are lucky, your careers in law will be long, and the judge before whom you present a case today, or the opposing counsel against whom you negotiate tomorrow, may in short order become your law firm or agency partner, or even a personal friend. So that's P, professionalism. Now R, reach back, reach down, reach out. Former US Attorney General Janet Reno once said that, quote, being a lawyer is not merely a vocation, it is a public trust, and each of us has an obligation to give back to our communities, unquote. As Amazon General Counsel David Sapolsky told us in his Luminaries in Law interview just last year, pro bono and public service work for lawyers is not optional, he said. He said it is part of being a lawyer and a quid pro quo of being a member of the bar, unquote. And he is right. We have the obligation to give back to society by exercising our talents as lawyers pro bono publico, for the public good. By reach back, reach down, and reach out, what I also convey to you is that you must, as a good Seattle University School of Law lawyer and legal professional, understand that we have an obligation to treat everyone with whom we work with respect and dignity. As you climb your ladder of success, pull others up with you. Treat the cleaner who freshens up your office, and your secretary who manages your professional life, and the mailroom attendant who directs your mail with the same respect and dignity that you show justices of the Supreme Court. They are, after all, the same in their humanity and in their entitlement to dignity. They also are instrumental in our own success and that of our clients. Being a Seattle University School of Law educated attorney or legal professional is a superpower. Use it for good. Use it to lift others. You also should reach out. Continue to expose yourselves to people different from you and opinions and perspectives unlike your own. A dear learned friend put it this way: understanding requires contrast. Seek contrast, embrace difference, contemplate diversity not just of background, but also of thought. Okay, so we covered the P and the R, professionalism and reach back, reach down, and reach out. Now the A, appreciation. Live from a place of gratitude, and you will become a better lawyer and a better and happier person. You are such high-achieving people, everybody. I know that you graduated kindergarten summa cum laude, and then went off to the next thing, and then the next thing, and the thing after that in quick succession. But pause, please, and give thanks for the enormous privileges that you now have as lawyers in an extraordinary profession, at an auspicious moment in our history, and in a country brimming with freedom and opportunity. Abide in gratitude. Now, the first C in practice, C for courage. The late Robert F. Kennedy once said, quote, courage is the most important attribute of a lawyer. It is more important than competence or vision. It should pervade the heart and the halls of justice and the chambers of the mind, unquote. Indeed, as lawyers and other legal professionals, you will see time and again that law is not the same as justice. This is something that we have taught you here at a Jesuit Catholic law school. Law is not the same as justice, and that justice is not the same as fairness. You will experience again and again what Jeremy Bentham observed in saying that, quote, the power of the lawyer is in the uncertainty of the law, unquote. Sometimes you will be asked to speak truth to power in circumstances that may appear to you to be impossible, unwinnable, hopeless. But the truth is that every quantum leap forward in law started with an impossible dream. Universal suffrage for women, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, marriage equality for gay people, basic equity for the differently abled. These and so many other advances took vision, took daring, took courage among lawyers and other legal professionals and lawmakers, and resulted in unfathomable progress. Reach back, reach down, reach out, appreciation, courage, now T, trustworthiness. You must be worthy of trust as a lawyer and legal professional. You must be dependable and organized and diligent and consistent with your commitment. Your word is your bond in law, so please be worthy of the trust of your clients, colleagues, and the decision makers before whom you practice. Now let's move on to I, integrity, which is very closely related to trustworthiness and relates back to President Peñalver's incisive address. In our youth, we may think that the white lie is harmless and a shortcut here or there won't matter if no one is noticing. Here at Seattle University School of Law, a Jesuit Catholic law school, we taught you about the importance of character in law and how little transgressions can combine into much bigger ones and inure us dangerously to wrongdoing. It is imperative for lawyers and other legal professionals to do the right thing, especially when no one is watching. And I say no one else is watching, really, to emphasize that when we are alone, it is our conscience that watches over us and to which we remain accountable in our quietest moments. Integrity not only is demanded of us as good lawyers and legal professionals, but also as good people. All right, now, almost done. The second and last C in practice, compassion. Compassion towards others and to ourselves. Abraham Lincoln once said, quote, "As a peacemaker, the lawyer has superior opportunity of being a good person." Yes, we must be zealous advocates, but sometimes the best way forward for our clients and causes and for the truth itself is to make peace, to exercise compassion and equanimity. This truth is brought to mind when contemplating Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's exhortation, quote, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you," unquote. It is important, too, to realize that this compassion should flow outward, but also inward. We train you in law to be especially scrutinous in your analysis, to leave no stone unturned, to marshal the facts and leverage the law in as incisive and zealous a manner possible. But sometimes that laser-beamed focus that we have honed during your time here at Seattle U Law, that scrutiny that we have cultivated, can turn inwards. And when it does, I will ask you to hold yourself in compassion, be kind to yourself, and be your own best friend. So those are the first 7 of the 8 letters in practice. Professionalism, reach back, reach down, reach out, appreciation, courage, trustworthiness, integrity, compassion for others as well as yourself. Finally, the E in practice, enjoy. Enjoy the moments of success, embrace the small and big victories, fail quickly and move on to more success, and recognize how fortunate each of you is to have reached this pinnacle of success. We lawyers are wordsmiths, so I will leave you with a few lines of a famous Later, still in Leaves of Grass, Whitman writes, quote, "You must habit yourself to the dazzle of the light and of every moment of your life," unquote. So, dazzle in your light, graduates. Please stay in touch with us. We are so very proud of you. Thank you. Today, we are proud to recognize the recipient of our Master of Legal Studies Compliance with a Conscience Award. The MLS is a graduate degree that prepares students to think like a lawyer without being a lawyer, by framing issues and solving problems through the lenses of law. Our belief that compliance benefits society when practiced ethically and aligns with our broader mission of empowering leaders for a just and humane world. The recipient of our Compliance with a Conscience Award is Kimberly Lynn Jones Blue. Kimberly, please stand and be recognized.
Each year, a member of the graduating class serves as class speaker. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing this year's class speaker, Maria Victoria Molina. Not so fast, we're going to say nice things about you. Born in Nicaragua, Victoria Molina immigrated to the United States with her mother at the age of 11. She earned a dual Bachelor of Arts in Sociology and Legal Studies from the University of California, Santa Cruz in 2016. After becoming a mother to a beautiful daughter during the fall semester of her 1L year, Victoria took on dual roles as full-time mother during the day and a dedicated student at night. Despite the challenges, her drive and determination enabled her to graduate a semester ahead of her cohort while balancing numerous responsibilities. She worked as a research assistant to Professor Margaret Chan, served as the content development editor for the Seattle Journal for Social Justice, and was Seattle U's Latino Law Student Association, or ELSA, liaison to both the Latino Bar Association of Washington and the Hispanic National Bar Association. She also clerked for Legal Aid at Work in San Francisco and later externed for Judge Jamal N. Whitehead at the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington. Victoria has accepted an offer from litigation firm Burns Keller Cromwell, LLP, and will begin her employment after graduation. She will graduate cum laude. Now, please welcome Maria Victoria Molina, class of 2023.
In true law fashion, good morning, and may it please the faculty, administrators, my colleagues, our friends and family, and the staff members that worked this morning to make this beautiful celebration happen. My name is Victoria Molina, and I am immensely honored to be speaking on behalf of the graduating class of 2023. Yes. This group of future attorneys and LLM students are not only empathetic, but they are empathetic and resilient visionaries. December graduates are built different because for many of us, our journey to law school was not linear. Some of us had careers prior to coming to law school, and many of us had to juggle competing responsibilities while in school, such as working full-time jobs during the day, caring for family members, or being parents. Through it all, we managed to stay committed to learning the law, and hopefully, we managed not to drive our friends and family completely wild. Speaking of our friends and family, this achievement is not just our own. Our family and friends are to share in this accomplishment. They have given us love, support, and grace. I know that without my amazing husband's unwavering support of my dreams, his care in raising our beautiful Amelia, and watching her as a 3-week-old so I could take my 1L finals, I would have fallen behind. I also know that if I didn't have the support of the most wonderful and selfless group of friends who were willing to do study sessions while I was breastfeeding, or I didn't have childcare, or the friends that live out of state and were arranging meals the first weeks that my daughter was born, I would have felt alone. I also know that without la mejor mamá del mundo, that had the courage for us to immigrate to the United States from Nicaragua, facing adversity with unparalleled resilience and an unyielding spirit, I know that her showing me the power of hard work and that setbacks are not defeats, but stepping stones to success, fostered in me the unrelenting determination that got me through law school. And I am sure that each one of the graduates here today has beautiful stories of their village and the impact they'd have on their journey and the person they are today. Therefore, graduates, please join me in giving our loved ones a standing ovation and thanking them for everything they have done for us and their continued grace while we study for the bar. Now, I hear that law school graduations are supposed to be uplifting and encouraging to the graduates, so I will give it a try and offer words of advice that were given to me by a fellow Archie, who like me did not have the best LSAT score and got in through law school through the Access Admission Program, which looks at the student holistically for who they are as a person and not what they got on the score on the test. Graduates, go back and read over your personal statements that you wrote when you were applying to law school, because that person was not tainted with the complete knowledge that the law is not always just or fair, it is arbitrary and capricious. That person is the reason why you came to law school. It is the reason why you put yourselves through the immense stress and debt, why it is forever ingrained in our brains that the period after it is not italicized. That is the person that we need to stay true to throughout our careers. And through our time in law school, we have been taught to think critically and analyze facts, but most importantly, to think like a lawyer. Today, I ask you that you not only think like a lawyer, but that you think like an empathetic human who understands struggle, pain, and being overwhelmed. That you think with vision of what the law could do for your communities. The law is not just a profession, it is a calling to make a difference in the world that we live in for others. Finally, that you keep your resilience through the challenges ahead. That resilience has brought you here this morning. That resilience will make you an exceptional advocate. Honor yourselves and the privileges of this profession, that this profession brings, by staying true to the hopeful and enthusiastic person that wrote your personal statement for law school. Lastly, let's all remember the people that took the time to meet us for coffee, offered advice, and provided camaraderie. Let's pay it forward to others who need the same from us. Let's keep fostering the lifelong friendships and connections we have made through our time here. And as we embark on our respective journeys, let us carry the torch of justice with the same resilience and dedication that brought us here to this moment. I have no doubt that this group of graduates will go out there and not only find professional success, but will also use the skills and values gained and learned here to meaningfully improve the world with their vision. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Today, as we stand here at the threshold of our legal careers, let us acknowledge the importance of breaking barriers and creating a more inclusive legal community. Class of 2023, thank you for sharing this moment with me. Congratulations, sí se pudo y adelante. You know the excitement's and all. I apologize. Each year, members of the graduating class nominate and select a student the outstanding faculty honoree who serves as the Marshal of Arms at the commencement ceremony. This year, our graduates have selected Professor Deidre Bowen, Moccasin Lake Foundation Endowed Chair, Professor of Law, and Director of the Family Law Center. Dr. Bowen is a nationally recognized expert in family law, domestic violence, and legal processes. She founded and directs the Family Law Center, which provides advocacy, direct representation, and research in domestic violence, family law, and reproductive justice. She is also a principal investigator in conducting research on firearms and domestic violence with the University of Washington School of Law, Medicine's Firearm Injury Policy and Research Program. Dr. Bowen graduated cum laude and with honors with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Sociology and Philosophy from Boston University. She receives her JD cum laude from the University of Buffalo School of Law and her PhD in Sociology from the University of Washington. Her research on families, domestic violence, and firearms and the legal system has been published in the top law and scientific journals. Dr. Bowen regularly speaks at national and international conferences. I am honored to present the Class of 2023's award for Outstanding Faculty Honoree to Professor Deidre Bowen.
Congratulations, Dr. Bowen. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce Vonda M. Sargent, class of 1994, as our commencement speaker. Vonda M. Sargent began her legal career as an intern for Washington State Supreme Court Justice Charles Johnson. She then interned for Jerry Alexander at the Court of Appeals, Division II. When Vonda graduated from law school, she clerked for then Justice Jerry Alexander at the Washington State Supreme Court. She began a 9-year tenure as a Thurston County prosecutor, where she did both criminal prosecutions and civil defense. Before branching out on her own, Vonda worked for 2 large insurance companies in their special investigations unit. Vonda established the law offices of Vonda M. Sargent, a boutique law firm, in 2005. Vonda's practice is legendary. It focuses on civil rights violations, police misconduct, insurance bad faith, and personal injury. Her firm has the reputation as being one of the best law firms for civil rights and personal injury cases, not only in Washington State, but in the United States. As a young lawyer, Vonda was appointed to the Washington Young Lawyers Division Board of Trustees. She's now a member of the WSBA Judicial Recommendations Committee. She was a founding member of the William L. Dwyer American Inn of Court and one of its earliest presidents. Vonda has worked on many civil rights cases throughout her career. In Wingate versus Whitlatch, a Seattle police officer arrested a 69-year-old Black man walking with a golf club as a cane. He was delivering the fax newspaper in the Central District to hospitals and hospice care recipients. During the trial, Vonda proved that Officer Whitlatch's treatment of Mr. Wingate was racially motivated. The jury found the officer liable for her actions, and she was fired by the SPD, not for racial discrimination, but for lying about the incident to the police department. The officer settled her grievance against the SPD and agreed never to work in law enforcement again. The SPD issued an apology for the false arrest of Mr. Wingate. In the Washington Supreme Court case of Henderson versus Thompson, Vonda exposed the racial bias experienced by both litigants and their counsel in judicial proceedings at the hands of defense counsel and the judiciary. In Henderson versus Thompson, Vonda represented a Black woman who was rear-ended by a white woman, Ms. Thompson. During trial, Thompson's defense attorney, who also is white, used racist tropes and suggested improprieties between Henderson and her witnesses, all of whom were Black. The trial judge allowed the language with racial overtones to be used by Thompson's attorneys, despite objections by Vonda. Vonda appealed all the way to the Washington Supreme Court and prevailed. The Washington Supreme Court held that, quote, if racial bias is a factor in the decision of a judge or jury, that decision does not achieve substantial justice and must be reversed, unquote. This was a landmark decision from the Washington Supreme Court, which attracted much needed nationwide attention, that acknowledged racial bias within the court system and held that all parties in civil cases are entitled to a trial free from racial bias. Other courts across the country have taken note of this decision. Vonda is a frequent contributor to Court TV. She's on the executive committee of the American Board of Trial Advocates, an invitation-only organization. She serves as its treasurer. She has been an adjunct professor for us here at the law school and a guest lecturer at the University of Washington School of Law. She also teaches trial skills at Justice Advocacy Africa and has traveled extensively to Kenya, Botswana, and Uganda as a trial advocacy instructor. She has presented CLEs far too numerous to list. Vonda was a recipient of the Washington State Association for Justice 2018 Karl Maxey Award and was the 2023 Gerhard Lietzing Public Justice Award winner. She was also the 2021 Lauren Miller Bar Association Excellence in Law awardee. Vonda has consistently been a super lawyer since 2012, and for the past several years, she has been named one of the 50 best women lawyers in Washington State. Most recently, Vonda was a presenter at the 64th Annual Washington Judicial Conference. Graduates, we invited Ms. Sargent to serve as our commencement speaker because we wanted you to recognize that you today are joining an illustrious body of Seattle University School of Law alumni who bridge law and justice and who are changing not only the law, but also the world for the better, who are, in one word, change makers. Ms. Sargent is at the pinnacle of change making, and we are fortunate to have her serve as our commencement speaker today. Vonda.
Good morning. I had some prepared notes, but as I listen to the other speakers and I look out on you new graduates, I'm going to speak from my heart. And I'm going to tell you that you're entering a profession that is much different than the profession that I entered. You're entering a profession now where we have a judiciary that has committed itself to making substantial changes in the law and the way that we practice the law. So I want to talk to you about courage and the courage to step into that space and make certain that you're a part of that change. You went to a fantastic law school. You went to a social justice law school. That's what we are about. We're about making those changes. We're about stepping out of that comfort zone, sticking our necks out, and when we see something, we say something. Now, along the way, when you do this, you're going to be tested. You're going to be tried. You're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be disparaged. You're going to be degraded. All of this will happen to you. But you must stand strong and know that you're going to be on the side of right. In June of 2020, our Supreme Court sent a letter to the judiciary and all of the legal members, everyone in the legal community. I want to read to you a few of the excerpts from this letter so that you know the environment that you're joining now, and that you understand that the way that we used to do things is gone. The tradition and the precedents that were oppressive and exclusive, we're dismantling them. And you need to be a part of it. And along the way, you will lose friends, family members, colleagues, and you might lose your job. but you have a tremendous amount of power. You walked into the school as Juan, Letitia, Bright, and you're walking out now as lawyers. And that's a whole different game that you're playing now. Some of you have the power with the stroke of your pen to change someone's life, either for the better or for the worse. With the stroke of a pen, you can send someone to prison. And with that same stroke of a pen, you can make someone's life better. And that's what our judiciary is talking about. They said in their letter that the legal community must recognize that we all bear responsibility for the ongoing justice in our system, and that we are all capable of taking steps to address it, all of us. They went on to say that too often in the legal profession, we feel bound by tradition and the way things have always been done. We must remember that even the most venerable precedent must be struck down when it is incorrect and harmful. Each and every one of you must do that. You must have the courage to stand up to your colleagues, to your boss, to your friends, when something is wrong. You heard the Dean Verona, say to you, address the judge with respect. The judge will address you as counselor, because that is what we are. We are counselors of the law, and we so often lose sight of that. We're not lawyers. Our job is to counsel our clients in the law. And sometimes you have to tell your client something that they don't want to hear, like, you're not going to win this case. Or, I can't bring this case, Officer Smith, because there's not enough evidence. Or, Client John Doe, you might want to plead guilty to this because the evidence is not in your favor. Your job is to counsel. What will happen when you leave this hall and you pass the bar and you get your job is you're going to have people pressing you to win at all costs, to withhold evidence, to not tell the truth. And it is your duty to have the courage to stand up and do the right thing. And it's very easy. What makes it different than when I started was, now when you don't do the right thing and you get caught, you get in trouble. The rules have changed. You guys are entering an entirely different legal profession than I did. So you must stand up, use your profession and this legal degree for good. And if you cannot do that, then you are in the wrong profession. If what it is you want to do is win at all costs, this is not for you. Every single one of us is tasked to leave the world better. And as lawyers, we are change makers. Everyone comes to us. We make policy, we make laws, we make systems. When there's an issue or a problem, you call the lawyer. You see it all the time. I'm going to call my lawyer. Let me call my lawyer. We have that much power. That is who we are. Do not squander it. Do not take it lightly. Leave this place a better place than when you started. I want to leave you with this idea that when you start your first job, that you take a look around and you listen to what is being said to you. Listen to who you have mentoring you. And if it's not the right place for you, have the courage and the wherewithal to go and find the right place for you. There's a place for everyone, every single one of you, there's a place for you. Whether you're doing civil defense or you're a plaintiff's attorney, whether you're a prosecutor or a defense attorney, whether you're doing corporate work or you're doing pro bono work, it doesn't matter what it is you're doing, so long as you're doing it the right way and your aim is not to harm. So I welcome you, and I wish you the best of luck. But most importantly, stay in touch with people. Stay in touch with your colleagues. Call your professors. Call random people. Call me. I'm listed. Call me. Tell me you heard me speak. But I wish you the best and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sargent. All right, now it's your turn. It is now time for the presentation of our candidates. President Peñalver, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Seattle University School of Law 2023 candidates for the Master of Legal Studies, Master of Laws, and Juris Doctor degrees. Will the candidates for the Master of Legal Studies degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Master of Legal Studies degree. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Laws degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Master of Laws degree. You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree please stand? President Peñalver, these students presented and listed on the printed program have completed the requirements to receive the Juris Doctor degree. You may be seated.
By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter of Seattle University and vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and acting upon the recommendation of the Dean of the Faculty of the School of Law, the Dean and Faculty of the School of Law, I hereby confer upon the graduates of the class of 2023 who have successfully completed the program requirements for the degrees of Master of Legal Studies, Master of Laws, or Juris Doctor, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Associate Deans Kristen DiBiase and Aaron Fulner will introduce the candidates individually. As each student's name is read, they will come forward to be hooded by Professor of Law John Eason and Visiting Assistant Professor of Lawyering Skills Jennifer Soderman. Usually at events such as these, we would ask you to hold your applause until the end. However, in recognition of the considerable sacrifice of family and friends of these law students, please feel free to express your pleasure and excitement at the name of your graduate is read. Dean DiBiase, please present the graduates.
Receiving the Master of Legal Studies degree, Bright Adu Gyamfi Antwi. Curtsy, don't bend.
Kimberly Lynn Jones Blue.
Victoria Hope Briggs.
Marie Abigail Edwards.
Emily Gass.
Carrie Rebecca Greek.
John Haskin.
Vanessa Elise McDonald.
Rachel Wanjiru Mwangi.
Melina Albertova Ovchinyan.
Angela Sutter.
Receiving the Master of Laws degree. Needy Moodgal, Master of Laws in Innovation and Technology.
Haneen Rasul, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies.
Gogandeep Singh, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies.
Valeria Ubilava, Master of Laws in American Legal Studies.
Receiving the Juris Doctor degree. Megan Elizabeth Bean.
Chase Edward Britton.
Trisha Rose Del Valle, cum laude.
Alicia Edwards.
Aaron Michael Higgins.
Rosetta Reed Lanham.
Cum laude. Renee Kristen Larson.
Maria Victoria Molina, cum laude. Nice.
Madison Joseph Musgrave.
Baha Adnan Obedat, magna cum laude.
Kanani Brianna Palafox.
Sonia Rodriguez Ramirez.
Carlos Sandoval.
Patrice J. Spence.
Cole R. Story.
Elisa T. Tejero.
We've got you. Kendra Rose Allen Tim, hooded by Uncle Richard D. Reed, Esquire, class of 1979.
All right, it's you.
Congratulations to the class of 2023.
Actually, if you could remain standing, that would be great. Thank you. And we close our celebration today by invoking God again. Loving God, the one who creates all truth and governs the world with wisdom, pour out upon our graduates your spirit and bless them. Help them to work to sow seeds of hope and joy. Help them embody light, so much so that the light of others creates a radiant, dazzling community. Keep them close to all they journey with, so that our divided nation and community may be one rich humanity, a tapestry more splendid than we can even imagine. Continue to foster their inquisitive minds, that through innovations in the law, we may all experience the beauty of our shared humanity. Help them care for our common home, so that all creatures may flourish and thrive into a sustainable future. And nourish them all in their vocation to the law, that because of them, our laws may be more just, more inclusive, more in line with you who are source and who are our source and summit. And give them the strength to accompany those in their sorrows and in their joys, that they may feel supported and may always know that they are lights for our world. May part of our vocation be supporting their vocations to the law. We ask all of these things through you, who are wisdom, who are truth, and who are love. Together we say, Amen.
This commencement convocation is now concluded. please join us in Sullivan Hall for a reception to celebrate our graduates and enjoy this day of celebration.